The Bad Bunny tune deserved to be on an album, you know, not just a standalone track.
Hi Damon, how are you?
Good, thank you.
How's been everything?
You've got. It looks like you've got horns. You've got Pazuzu behind you, and it looks like you're growing horns.
We can try these. We can try this one, or we can try this one.
No, the other one's great. The other one's great.
Yeah. So, how's everything? It's very nice to chat with you again.
Yes, you too. I was only in Mexico a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I was talking about it. What makes Mexico so special for you nowadays?
Well, it's one of the best places on planet Earth.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Are you having fun here, mate?
I always have a lovely time. This time I took my mum and my dad. We came just after Christmas and we stayed for New Year. And yeah, they'd never been to Mexico before, and we had a little family holiday, which was very nice.
On Cracker Island, it was born.
And now you're getting ready to release this new album, and I remember talking with you a couple of years ago, and the plan back there was to release Tormenta for a second volume of Song Machine. So how does that project evolve into a new concept album?
Yeah. Well, I suppose lockdown finished, so therefore there was no need to do any more Song Machine. The Bad Bunny tune deserved to be on an album, you know, not just a standalone track. So I mean, he's been around for a while now, and he's got bigger and bigger and bigger in the interim. He's like, I'm supporting him now.
Yeah, I mean, the last call feels like a genius idea, genius narrative. In one hand, we have Murdoch creating this cult of personality. I mean, just as our politicians, influencers, what is happening in the world right now. But at the same time, we've seen Gorillaz doing all kinds of merch, from earphones, vodka bottles, Snapchat lenses.
Embracing the madness.
Yeah. It's like simultaneously manipulate us and ask us to be attentive to the fact that we're being manipulated. It's like part of the game and part of the narrative, and that's poker.
Yes, it's crackers.
The album has like a very nostalgic vibe, a lot of melancholy, maybe good vibes.
I think that comes from the fact that Greg Kurstin and I, when we met each other, realised that we had an awful lot in common musically, in the sense that we're both a very similar age, and we grew up loving 80s synth pop, you know, and also we were both in art school bands in the 90s. We were both like in indie bands. He's more qualified than me, but we just hit it off musically. And you know, his studio has one of the finest collections of synthesizers I've ever encountered, and they're all from that period, like sort of late 70s, 80s, early 90s. So it was just a joy working with him. Maybe that's why the record's got that sound.
Yeah, and I love the fact that the collaborations feel that way, you know, like every guest shines on their own merits, and at the same time they bring something very unique to
yeah, well, I mean, what's the point in doing a collaboration if it's going to be generic? I mean, you know, Gorillaz was never about that from the beginning. You know, in our first record we had Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Tina Weymouth, Miho, and Ibrahim Ferrer.
Can you take or share us a bit of the process, schedules, and how difficult it was to make everything work?
I just I'm not precious, you know, I allow it to go wherever it's going. That's the trick, I think, you know, and as long as there's some kind of sort of unifying joy that you experience with the person you're collaborating with, It's about reaching that moment where everyone just goes, yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, I don't know the person I'm working with until, you know, the end of the session, and then after that, you kind of sort of, you know, you've been on such a journey in such a short time that you feel like you know the person, you know.
Stop, 'cause you're killing me.
Of the recording process of Tormenta with Bad Bunny.
We went to Jamaica, and he flew over from Puerto Rico, which isn't very far. Yeah, there'd been a terrible storm the night that we met. He came over to the studio and we had a chat, and there was a really bad storm, a proper Caribbean storm, you know. The next day, he came over and we made this really beautiful, peaceful track. It was kind of weird. It sort of post the storm, it was so sort of lush and green and sunny. Yeah.
I have to ask you about the lyric. I mean, the part of on Spanish. Did he translate it to you? It was like a free flow.
Oh well, I was lucky. My daughter and her friend Salima were there, and they both speak fluent Spanish. Really, the reason why I discovered Bad Bunny in the first place was because they loved him. And, you know, I mentioned I think on some interview, maybe somewhere, maybe Mexico, might have been, that I was really a fan of his, and then one thing led to another. But I mean, he really is amazing. He's super quick and super spontaneous, and really, he's the real deal for sure.
Now you're playing Coachella, so
yeah,
we can expect like a live collaboration, something like that.
I sincerely hope so. It would be really nice, right?
Don't be sad for me.
In the Ape is one of my favorite tunes. Not of the album, I could say it's one of my favorite Gorillaz tunes.
Okay,
great. It blends like everything Gorillaz been about these 20 years. I mean, it's very calm, but in the end it goes like bonkers and
bonkers. Yeah. I think it just sort of, Greg's an amazing drummer, and we just thought, let's just do it double speed at this point and see what happens. So I'm just playing the guitar and he's playing the drums, and you know, it's just like two teenagers playing together. We kind of really went back to our roots, you know, our indie roots, and it was lovely actually to see the smile on his face when he was doing it. You could see he was really enjoying being that basic about things. Good.
I'm sorry to bring back this again, but lyrically, this again, like this melancholy, like don't be sad for me, I'm a cartoon.
Yeah.
Don't be sad for me. No, and then on the back song, it's like the Obsession Island, where things don't exist and we're all this together till the end. Which is again like a reflection of what we live in right now, that you want everything about everything, and it looks like your value is about money or material things. Then there's another lyric, this with Stevie Nicks singing about reaching a place where you can't help yourself anymore, and then madness comes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's boom.
Yeah.
Directly in.
I mean, great her singing that line, because you know she's experienced madness.
Yeah.
So it's always better when you know somebody's done something when they sing it, you know what I mean? Somehow invests a sort of a legitimacy to it that's the great thing about collaborating, is you can kind of identify little emotions and then go and search the world to find a person that can convey that for you, you know? It's lovely. So it's a very rewarding process. It doesn't always work, but when it does work, it's very gratifying.
I was also reflecting about a thing that usually the artist release the album and then go on tour, but this has been different. You've been in tour, did the world tour, and then the album is out, and I understand that your touring plans for this year maybe are not with Gorillaz. So how how's the process?
Well, I did it a sort of weird way this time. I did a world tour and then put an album out.
Yeah.
It's unorthodox. We'll see if it works.
Looks like maybe this album will be like pause or end of an era for Gorillaz, and maybe give it some time before entering the
Do another
stage
one.
8.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, Jamie and I really enjoy, and I you know, and all the people I work with on Gorillaz, we all enjoy each other's company so much. It's sort of, we sometimes make the album is an excuse to hang out.
I think the figure of Remy Kabaka
Really?
in the band, it's very important.
Very important. And, you know, Remy's one of the loveliest people on earth. So who wouldn't want to hang out with him?
Well, I'll do.
Oh, he's brilliant. You'd love him. He's absolute.
Yeah. Well, are you excited for Chelsea this season? I mean, it's difficult, but...
Do you know, the hardest thing is the success of Arsenal.
Why?
It's just hard for me. You know, Chelsea, we've enjoyed having kind of a superiority over North London for so many years now. And to be in this position is frankly humiliating. But
we're enjoy like 15.
We will return. We will return. And they've got to win 2 Champions Leagues before they're on the same league as us. So, you know, it's all right. They're very overconfident up North London. They think they're. It's just annoying. I just won't go to North London for a few years. That's all.
Well, Damon, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.